Hi everyone, this is Haley and this is Luke, and we are here to tell you the story of Peter Pan. We're all very excited, and this is a pop-up book, so I'll try my best to show you all the pictures. Luke, are you ready? Once upon a time, Wendy, John, and Michael Darling lived in London. One night, Wendy awoke to find a strange boy sitting on the floor who was crying. "My name is Wendy," she said. "Who are you? Why are you crying?" "I'm Peter Pan," he said. "I'm crying because my shadow won't stick to me." "Don't cry," Wendy said. "We can fix that." And she sewed Peter's shadow onto the tips of his shoes. Peter was delighted. "Fly back to Neverland with me and my fairy Tinkerbell," Peter begged. "You could be our mother and take care of us." "Can you teach me how to fly?" Peter nodded. "Let's wake John and Michael," Wendy said. "You can teach us all how to fly, and then we will leave for Neverland." Children were soon flying around the room. Then swoosh! Out the window they all flew. Wendy, John, and Michael flew behind Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, following the golden arrows that pointed the way to Neverland. Finally, they are flying over the island. "The Lost Boys live with me and Tinkerbell. I'm their captain," Peter said. "The Indians live over there, and the mermaids live in the lagoon. And there are pirates, too, led by Captain Hook." "Hook's the meanest pirate ever," Peter warned, "but he's afraid of the crocodile." The crocodile bit off Hook's hand and liked the taste so much that it follows him, hoping for more. Luckily for Hook, the crocodile swallowed a clock, and it goes tick-tock and warns Hook when the crocodile is nearby. Peter led Wendy, John, and Michael to his house under the woods. They entered through a door hidden in an old tree stump. When the Lost Boys saw Wendy, they shouted, "Hooray! Will you be my mother?" "I'm only a little girl," Wendy answered. "I have no experience." But the Lost Boys looked so sad that she said, "I'll do my best." Hi, buddy. Life was pleasant in the cozy house under the woods. Wendy took care of the boys, who explored the island during the day. At night, they gathered for meals, played make-believe games, and listened while Wendy told them stories. The children loved Neverland, but they never forgot their home. They decided to fly home the next morning. "If you come back with us," Wendy told the Lost Boys, "I'm sure our mother and father would adopt you." "Hooray!" shouted the boys, jumping with joy. That's cool. Wendy asked Peter if he and Tinkerbell would come home with them too, but Peter didn't want to live where grown-ups could tell him what to do. Peter was sad that his friends were leaving. Still, he wanted the children to arrive home safely, so he asked Tinkerbell to guide them on their trip. Early the next morning, Tinkerbell and the children left the house under the woods, but Captain Hook's pirates were hiding nearby. They captured all of the children, tied them up, and marched them towards the pirate ship. Tinkerbell escaped and hurried back to tell Peter what had happened. "It's Hook or me this time," yelled Peter to Tinkerbell as they flew off to save Wendy and the boys. On the pirate ship, Captain Hook demanded, "Who wants to become a pirate?" The boys shook their heads. "Then make them walk the plank," Hook roared. The boys tried to look brave, but they were afraid. Suddenly, they heard the tick-tock of the crocodile. Now it was Captain Hook's turn to be afraid. But the tick-tock was only Peter imitating the crocodile. He flew onto the deck and shouted, "I've got you now, Hook!" Peter lunged with his sword, and Hook fell into the sea, where the crocodile was waiting for him. Captain Hook swam all the way to shore away from the crocodile and promised never to scare Peter and his friends again. When Peter was certain that Hook was gone forever, he and Tinkerbell set off for London with Wendy and the boys. Wendy's parents were happy to see their children again. Mr. and Mrs. Darling hugged Wendy, John, and Michael and agreed to adopt the Lost Boys. They asked Peter to stay with them also, but he says, "I'm going to Neverland where I never have to grow up." "Goodbye then, Peter. We'll miss you," everyone called. Peter Pan and Tinkerbell waved goodbye and flew home to Neverland. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope that you all will tune in next time. If you have any story suggestions, put them in the comments below and maybe we'll be able to read one of your stories. Luke! Bye!